you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us for this Wednesday edition of Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, so I saw some lightning coming into work today on my drive out, kind of the southeast. Let's pass it over to Ulysses over on the weather wall. Ulysses, what's the weather looking like for PT today?
Well, the good news is it's actually looking a lot better this morning. At least here in Fort Sill, we're not really expecting the chances of rain. It's going to be a little bit more of a focus down towards Texas, where we'll see those chances for showers. And that's going to be mostly in the early morning hours. Already by mid-morning, we'll start clearing things up as a whole. If anything, we'll just deal with some clouds this morning. 67 degrees right now at Fort Sill. 7 degrees cooler than this time yesterday, 7 miles an hour for the wind speed. So we're already starting to see some of those improvements. But like I mentioned yesterday, we'll really start seeing that really comfortable air really settle in tomorrow morning across the area. So looking at the temperatures here as we go through the next few hours, we'll make it into 65 degrees by 6 and 7 a.m. and eventually start pushing 70, closer to 70 by 9 a.m. Looking over towards our Chickasha Chamber of Commerce Tower Cam. Really not much happening here. Like I mentioned before, though, the chance of a shower, a little bit more of a focus the further south you go. But we'll start off at 30% this morning and then drop down to 10% by this afternoon. We'll make our way into the lower 80s this afternoon. We'll have a northwest wind. So what that also means is lower humidity across the area. It's going to make it feel rather comfortable. So when it comes to your headlines here, just a few showers early on, gradual clearing today. Cool nights, mild to warm days are ahead for the late week and weekend. And we're going to keep things mostly dry. Very slim rain chances on the way.
Well, President Trump, in his first speech at the United Nations since his previous term, criticized the world body and offered up his own solutions to ending the wars in Ukraine and Gaza.
Our White House correspondent John Decker has the story.
In an hour-long speech to the United Nations General Assembly, President Donald Trump criticized the UN and many of America's traditional allies. President Donald Trump is blunt when talking about the potential of the United Nations now celebrating its 80th anniversary.
The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential for the most part.
The president took issue with numerous countries, including Canada, France, the UK, and Australia, that have in the past few days recognized a Palestinian state.
This would be a reward for these horrible atrocities, including October 7th, even while they refuse to release the hostages or accept a ceasefire.
President Trump also renewed his threat to pressure Russia to end the war in Ukraine.
In the event that Russia is not ready to make a deal to end the war, then the United States is fully prepared to impose a very strong round of powerful tariffs, which would stop the bloodshed, I believe, very quickly. But for those tariffs to be effective, European nations, all of you are gathered here right now, would have to join us in adopting the exact same measures.
Invoking a signature issue, President Trump also attacked global immigration.
It's time to end the failed experiment of open borders. You have to end it now. See, I can tell you, I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
The president also defended his tariffs policy, saying his tariffs are aimed at defending America's sovereignty and security throughout the world. The Supreme Court will soon take up a case that challenges the president's authority to impose those tariffs. At the White House, I'm John Decker.
Well, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke to world leaders at the UN Security Council on ending the war in Ukraine.
That's right. Despite comments from the commander-in-chief saying that he believes Ukraine can continue to fight and win the war, Rubio says the conflict cannot end militarily.
But the one that's proved to be an extraordinarily challenge has been the war in Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine. The president has worked on it tirelessly, has invested a tremendous amount of his own time, energy, and the highest levels of our government. We have had meetings in Turkey, meetings in Saudi Arabia, meetings in Alaska, countless phone calls, doing everything possible to bring this conflict to a resolution and to an end. A war that cannot end militarily. It will end at a negotiating table. That's where this war will end. This war needs to end. But if it does not, if there is no path to peace in the short term, then the United States and President Donald J. Trump will take the steps necessary to impose costs for continued aggression.
Well, taking a look at some of our more local news here in Lawton, Fort Sill. Heads up if you're traveling onto Fort Sill today, so the right exit lane on Sheridan Road near Keygate West will be closed for a brief period of time.
The lane will be closed beginning at 10 o'clock this morning for approximately an hour. Drivers are encouraged to use caution when traveling in the area. Find an alternate route if necessary. And heads up if you're trying to get a new military ID or renew your old one, because the ID card office on Fort Sill is currently offline.
So it was reported yesterday the technical difficulties are apparently due to an unexpected outage worldwide. They are working with support teams that have to resolve it as quickly as possible. Once service is restored, they will be fulfilling all scheduled appointments.
Now, if you have a scheduled appointment today, it is recommended that you call ahead of time, as you might need to reschedule. The phone number is listed on your screen.
Well, Fort Sill National Cemetery has announced that they will have a burial for an unclaimed veteran today. Airman First Class Stanley C. Wilson will be laid to rest this morning. A1C Wilson served during the Vietnam War.
The service will be held at 11 a.m. at the Fort Sill National Cemetery in Elgin. If you need more information, you can contact the number on your screen.
The Department of Veterans Affairs held an event yesterday to educate veterans and their families about the PACT Act.
Veterans also had the opportunity to enroll for benefits, apply for new ID cards, and get health screenings. VA organizers work with area partners in order to connect with as many veterans as possible and make sure they're getting the care they're qualified for.
A lot of times when we come out into these far rural locations, a lot of times it's because they can't get to the VA. You know, the nearest VA may be too far for them to go. And so by bringing the services to them, it makes it easier for them to come and see us and get what they need from us.
Makes it a one-stop shop. Like Mary had mentioned, there's multiple resources here, so folks can come in to get help with the multiple programs with the Veterans Administration and the other federal and state and nonprofits that are here as well.
Now, if you missed that event, you can go to discover.va.gov to search for upcoming events, find VA resources, and apply for VA benefits.
Well, Army Community Service held a job and education fair on Fort Sill aimed at helping people transitioning from the military to the next phase of their lives.
So attendees spoke directly with representatives from area schools and businesses, learning about the opportunities they have while networking. Many of the participating vendors say they were excited to be able to offer outgoing service members whatever they needed to get a head start on their futures.
We want to be able to have in-depth conversations with the service members. Sometimes when you are out in the general public and you're just applying for jobs, you're not getting that opportunity to have a more direct conversation with the hiring people. And I find being able to have those one-on-one meetings and maybe walk through what they're looking for and what opportunities are available within our organization is a huge benefit to me.
Well, airmen from Altus Air Force Base's 97 Civil Engineering Squadron Readiness and Emergency Management flight set up a decontamination line at Fort Sill earlier this month as part of a chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear training exercise, also known as CBRN.
So this event not only supported operations at Fort Sill, but also gave the airmen of the 97th the opportunity to train newer members and demonstrate their capability to lead.
The military trains for these types of attacks to ensure mission readiness in environments where such hazards may be present. Soldiers with Fort Sill's 3-2 Air Defense Artillery Battalion simulated exposure to an unknown CBRN agent that forced them to rapidly break down their camp and move all personnel and equipment through a decontamination line before establishing a new position.
U.S. Army Training and Doctrine Command will be deactivating later this week. Coming up, we'll have the latest announcements from across the military.
This 7 News broadcast is sponsored by Southwest Buick GMC.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are. Stay connected to the team you trust. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app. Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV. Stay connected to 7 News. Every evening, 7 News, working for you every night at 10. Don't wait to see the news that affects you. Know first with 7 News at 4 p.m. Here's your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
Welcome back, everyone. We're tracking some rain, some thunderstorms, mainly over our southern tiermost counties, over towards Haskell, Throckmorton, over towards Young County. You can see over Throckmorton, we're dealing with some rain, some thunderstorms here. Sub-severe, so that's the good news. And it works, I think, for the most part, to stay below severe limits here as we go through the next couple of hours. But this is all moving, you can see, towards the east here. So over towards the Olney area, even towards Graham, we could see some of this activity here as it pushes, say, within the next half an hour or so. But you can even see just the signs of weakening there as we lose some of the yellows and some of the shades of oranges there. Looking at our Jackson County Memorial Hospital Tower Cam and Altus, overall really quiet here when it comes to your Wednesday morning. Temperatures currently though in the 60s for most of the region, 69 in Wichita Falls, 67 in here in Line along with Altus, 65 in Quanah, 64 in Anadarko, 71 over towards Jacksboro and Graham. Looking at the setup here, there's that front already making its way down towards the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We're kind of just going to have a little bit of more of a reinforcement here with a little front pushing through later on today, and that's going to bring in really the cooler temperatures when it comes to our nighttime temperatures going into tomorrow morning later on today. So as we go throughout the morning hours, we'll deal with some showers. That's going to push out. We'll deal with clearing skies throughout the day, mostly clear skies tonight, and then lots of sunshine taking over as we go into your Thursday. For your morning PT forecast, mid to upper 60s. Overall, mostly quiet start here to the day. As we go throughout the day, just a few showers in the morning. After that, though, partly cloudy, temperatures in lower 80s. Tonight will drop down into the upper 50s and mostly clear.
So the Army's Combat Feeding Division has revealed what soldiers can expect from the next iteration of MREs.
I know you're excited about this. MRE 46, which are expected to come out next year, will be replacing multiple different foods found in the current iteration of MREs. Beef taco filling, pork sausage patties, and pepper jack beef patties will be replaced with beef picadillo, buffalo-style chicken, and Thai-style red curry. How's that sound?
Those all sound pretty good. I tell you, we've talked about this before, though. I swear there's a hint of they all kind of taste the same. But that pork patty, man, that actually is pretty good.
It's not bad?
I'm going to miss that.
Well, you like that, but none of the current foods actually were highly rated amongst service.
Oh, I don't know about that. But, man, hey, Kyle, I am getting kind of hungry. I've joked with Kyle that I may bring by some MREs sometime but for an on-air taste test. But the Army is also focusing on protein-filled snacks. And I'm not sure if I agree with this. They're looking at other caffeinated products to replace coffee.
You're a coffee guy, though,
I am
so
a coffee.
I know you hate to see that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the U.S. Army is preparing to deactivate U.S. Army Training and Doctrine Command, or TRADOC, later this week.
That's right. The deactivation is part of a broader reorganization of Army units that was announced by the Pentagon earlier this year.
TRADOC, which is responsible for overseeing the training, education, and development of soldiers, is merging with Army Futures Command.
Now, together, the two will form Army Transformation and Training Command, called T2C. It will be in Austin, Texas, where AFC headquarters is currently located. The deactivation ceremony will be held this Friday at Fort Eustis. Now, of note, Kyle, we've talked about the Army Transformation Initiative. So, fiscal year 2026 actually starts on October 1st, and that's going to signal multiple changes across the DOW. We'll try to cover a lot of those as they come to fruition. Well, the Pentagon has announced plans to terminate the Defense Advisory Committee on Women in the Services. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth claims the organization has a divisive and harmful agenda.
Now, this is a departure from Secretary Hegseth's previous guidance when he directed the phased return of DACOWITS and other advisory groups that had been placed on hiatus. According to DOW officials, the department is focusing on advancing uniform sex-neutral standards.
A former service member's family is at odds with the cemetery he is buried in. Coming up, hear why they're now speaking out on the condition of the grounds.
This just in, the town of Velma is being evacuated.
Stay connected to the team you trust your way. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app.
Mark, what are you seeing?
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV here or watch anytime on your schedule. Download all 3 for free. Stay connected to 7 News wherever you are. Stay connected to the team you trust. Get breaking news and investigations here on the 7 News app. Instant forecast with real-time alerts here on the First Alert 7 weather app. And stream live on your TV. Stay connected to 7 News. Every evening, 7 News, working for you every night at 10. Don't wait to see the news that affects you. Know first with 7 News at 4 p.m.
Well, family members of a veteran interred at a cemetery in Georgia are speaking out after they experienced several issues with the section of that cemetery designated for military burials.
So Jason Dennis spoke to the family and tells us why they say it's an insult to their loved one's service to his country.
William Messick served in the Army a dozen years. When he passed away unexpectedly in February, his family decided to honor him the best way they knew how.
He served his country with all his heart and was really upset when he became a disabled vet. He wanted to be buried somewhere where there was a section for military, and so we choose this cemetery because it has a big military section.
It took 7 months to get a headstone installed at Bellevue Memorial Gardens near Augusta, but then the vet's widow was very upset with what she found.
They put the wrong plate on my husband's grave, and I contacted them last week, Tuesday, very upset, and she was pretty rude at first. It's a little mistake. That's not a big mistake because that's very dishonorable to both men.
Cemetery employees say a monument company will start work this week installing headstones and repairing graves that are damaged, but the Messick's family feels much of this is too little too late.
It's been a week later, still not done. So I can't even talk to them anymore because it's truly upsetting. It's really not just the money, it's a heartbreak. And when you go told your blood pressure is too high, or why are you so upset? Because I'm heartbroken.
Neighbors say the Grovetown, Georgia cemetery has faced significant maintenance issues since the owner died 4 years ago. For Military Matters, I'm Jason Dennis.
Well, NASA is aiming to make another giant leap for mankind by sending a crewed mission to the moon and eventually to Mars.
Artemis 2 plans to launch no later than April. According to NASA, the test mission is intended to help confirm the systems and hardware needed for deep space exploration by humans.
Now, the astronauts for the moon mission have already been selected. However, some of the crew members heading to Mars could include any of NASA's newest astronauts that were introduced earlier this week.
Upcoming exploration missions, we are pushing the boundaries of human performance, and the lessons that we learn are going to help us to excel not just in space, but in areas of human health here on Earth.
Well, during their 2-year training, the astronauts will take classes in geology, water survival, and space health. Upon completion, the new class will join the 48 other members of the Space Agency's astronaut corps and become eligible for flight assignments.
The Iowa Army National Guard broke ground on its new vehicle maintenance shop this week.
The new 25,000 square foot shop will replace the current shop, which has been in service since 1953.
That expanded space will support up to 18 mechanics, nearly doubling the staff. Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, a National Guard vet herself, says the upgrade is long overdue.
These young maintainers, they're working in a facility that is over 70 years old. Now they will have more modern conveniences. Equipment needs have changed through the years. Well, so do the needs to keep those vehicles up and running and have modern facilities to do that.
The project was made possible by a $13.8 million federal funds. Major General Stephen Osborne, who's the Adjutant General of the Iowa National Guard, said the new facility will increase safety and preparedness for the maintainers.
My big concern on the facility they're in now is really the safety. The vehicles that we have in the military are so much bigger, so much heavier, so much longer, but the safety to the maintainers is number one criticality. Number two is, yes, the support to our readiness, the vehicles we have and their ability to maintain is critical to a number of units up here in Northwest Iowa.
The new facility is scheduled to be finished by the spring.
Well, soldiers from across the country are in Savannah, Georgia to compete to see who's the best observer, coach, trainer in the Army at the Pershing Cup.
Now, this contest includes a physical fitness test, endurance tests, and a whole lot more. Now, while this competition helps build morale and team pride, it's also about getting our Army ready for anything that may be thrown at them.
Recognize those individuals who are experts in their craft, stepping up and going above and beyond what's normally expected of us. It's a full team effort. At the end of the day, it's on the individual to prepare, but also the support of the unit, their battle buddies to the left and the right of them, getting them ready.
Now, Kyle, I spent several years as an OCT, but was never able to go to this competition. Looks really cool. The winners of the Pershing Cup are set to be announced tomorrow. All right, Kyle, so how many push-ups do you think you could do in one go?
These days, probably not a lot. Back when I was in shape in high school, doing push-ups regularly,
yeah.
I mean, I could do 100 pretty easily, but these days, a little more difficult.
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about this. I don't know how many push-ups I could do either. So, one push-up enthusiast in the Oregon National Guard has broken the world record for the most chest-to-ground push-ups in 1 hour.
So, 38-year-old Tommy Vu completed over 1,700 push-ups.
Gosh, man.
Gosh, can't even imagine that. That's shattered the previous record of 1,530 reps set earlier this year by an athlete from New York.
So this is actually Vu's 6th world record. He says he's donating a check to the Oregon Humane Society and now is aiming for the world burpees record.
That's even worse, right?
Yeah.
Here's your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ulysses Garcia.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. Right now, really not much happening here on our Cameron University Tower Cayman line. So overall, things are rather tranquil. Like you saw on the radar earlier, a lot of the activity is over down towards Texas, and that's really where we're expecting the chances for showers for the most part this morning are going to be mainly south of the river. Looking at your visibility is not really a concern for most of the region, just a little reduced over towards Elk City at 8 miles. So there's the main front that we had. It already pushed through yesterday, but we're dealing with just a little bit of some short waves that are pushing through parts of Texas, and so we still got to keep those. And then we even have a little bit of activity making its way, I'll say, closer to I-40. So the combination of both of this, when associated with between a short wave and a front, is kind of what's going to keep those chances a little bit for this morning before things really begin to improve as we make our way towards the afternoon. So looking at your future track, we do have a few showers closer to I-40, along with a little bit more of that heavier activity down towards Texas. Once all that pushes away, we'll start seeing our weather really beginning to improve as we go throughout the day. And as we progress into tonight, mostly clear to lots of sunshine taking over going into your Thursday, your morning PT forecast. For the most part, just about a 20 to 30% chance of a shower across the area. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. And your 7-day forecast here, we're going to keep things into the 80s here. 81 today, nighttime temperatures in the 50s, warming up to 60, and we'll keep things mainly dry. Very slim rain chances, only 10% chance on Monday.
Oh, I love that 7-day. Nothing but 80s. Perfect.
I'm down with that.
Well, thanks for watching. Good morning, Fort Sill.